Hello and welcome to the 8th episode of the Variety Lounge. As always, my name is Joseph and this is Randy. And we are here to discuss the amazing subject of AI. This is going to be somewhat of a controversial subject for a lot of people, and we would love to hear your guys' comments and what you guys think of it at the end of the episode. And we would love to discuss that maybe even further onto another episode. So we're really excited for that. So, firstly, like we normally do, Randy, how was your week?
My week was good. Had at work we had a quarterly meeting and had the remote workers all in, and it was very nice to see everybody. And it was a good week. I also had a great sales week. How was yours, Joe?
Mine was great. Did my normal delivering. Gave one of the guys made his wife a custom seasoning,
Yes.
and apparently they were just over the fucking moon with that, right?
Good.
So yeah, other than that, the normal, just being a boring motherfucker. So
All right.
I like it. So let's go right into the subject. So AI. So we have a very broad spectrum of where we can go with this. So let's just start with the basis of what AI is and where we're going with this. So it's been kind of a big fear thing. Obviously, the Terminator and all those other movies about it taking over the world, right?
Yeah.
And the big component that a lot of people are upset about is it taking jobs, right? Now, as we both know, anytime that we go forward in, I guess, our progress, right?
Yeah.
We always find something to replace it, and technology creates another variation of a job, whether it be maintaining equipment, maintaining the software, etc. When it comes to AI, right? So when it comes to this, what is your opinion, Randy, of AI back in the day when it was just more of a conversation piece, not really a discussion, to where it is right now, where it is creating a variance of excitement for the others and others' fear.
My take on it.
Yeah. So what's your just overall perspective?
I want to address your AI taking jobs statement.
Yeah.
When the weaving machine, industrial grade weaving machine, was introduced, all clothes were basically cloth was essentially a cottage industry.
Mm-hmm.
And there were a lot of individual people with their looms making cloth, what's going to happen to them now that they can make so much so fast?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what happened to them, but you know what? It was a great move for society, and I imagine they found a way to get by. Probably went to work in the factory that was running the loom.
Yeah.
And then we see that with what on earth is going to happen to all these livery stables? These people are all buying cars.
Mm-hmm.
We got through that.
Well, and a big thing with me and making your point, right, is we will never outsource ourselves out of existence. We will,
Never's a long time.
but I mean, just in general, mankind in general is designed just psychologically to do something. I know that a lot of people have this point of view that, it would be so nice for us to do nothing, and just watch entertainment, and kind of like Wall-E.
Yeah.
Right? That movie Wall-E, where we're sitting in our chairs and just there's a fucking TV screen in front of us, and that's fucking all it is, right?
Yeah.
And I don't think it's that at all. I think that we will find or invent new applications to keep us relevant no matter what. We have a need to do, essentially, in general, have purpose. And I don't think that we'll ever try to replace that to make our lives easier. I think that if it becomes that point, we'll have an inventive society that actually creates a new industry or a new something to work alongside of what we have already created. And we've been doing that for years anyway. It just depends on on what the industry is, right?
Yeah, yeah, and you know, if to take this maybe too far, when culture was developed and people were effectively farming enough food
Mm-hmm.
to feed the village, and not everyone had to be engaged in farming to do it.
Mm-hmm.
What happened? Well, the idea of governing ourselves and governments were formed.
Mm-hmm.
Art, literature,
Mm-hmm.
the wheel was invented. I mean, on and on. I mean, I think technology is just part of what fuels technology and the advancement of our species is having time to do it. And it wasn't like the early agrarian societies just laid around and enjoyed the fruits of their labor.
Mm-hmm.
They started inventing stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, who knows what we're going to come up with next?
Well, see, in mine, I've been saying this for fucking years, and you know this, right? Is I believe that with the upcoming of VR and tying that into AI, I think that's going to be fucking interesting, right? To see, because you know they're going to integrate it into it. They're not.
Yeah,
just
and the
gonna
applications for it in engineering and warfare and everything else is pretty dramatic.
Because I think that we are going to glassware when it comes to technology itself. Just your cell phone's going to be glassware. We're already more interested in using things with our phones, right? A lot of there's been events that people have held where people don't even know what a fucking controller is, let alone a keyboard and mouse, just because it's a new generation. So VR, I believe, is just that new step. I think they're just waiting for there to be enough of an investment for the overall population before we truly move forward to that. I give it another 5 or 6 years. I think we're there.
I think there needs to be a quantum leap in battery technology before that.
That is true, actually. I didn't.
Yeah,
I forgot
a
about
huge
that.
leap in battery technology.
Yeah, because that is the big thing. Because a lot of those companies have been waiting, but at the same time, I am genuinely curious because I haven't done really a lot of research into it, but I'm curious how well that new Apple Vision thing is. Because essentially people are wearing these fucking things forever, and it is literally a VR that allows you to have your VR experience with the real world still in focus.
Well, I haven't looked into it either. It sounds like I need to.
Yeah, and it just, to me, that sounds kind of interesting, and I mean, because Siri is a version of AI, right? It's a personal assistant AI, right? And so I wonder if those are going to be replaced or if the entire programming is going to be rebased, right? Because, oh God, you think about it, like, if you were to take the Chat GPT functionality and put it into some of these assistants, it would be interesting.
Oh, I'm sure that's just around the corner.
Well, but you're also talking about comfortability. Not everybody is like on, and I think that's why they haven't integrated that type of software into it or that type of update. Is because there's a lot of people that are very afraid of anything AI based, and because it's doing it so efficiently and so beautifully. Writing papers, writing theses, writing songs. Creating art, and
let's talk about that because that's something I'm kind of a little resentful of. Is that the idea is this creation AI is now writing our songs and our stories. Isn't the whole idea of getting a time away from the grindstone is so you can write your own songs and your own stories?
So I agree with you, but I disagree with you at the same time. So the reason why, art in all forms is formed from emotion.
Yeah.
You can have a software emulate what is already out there, but to actually create.
See, but it is creating, and now is it inspired looking art or whatever? No, but it's very
But it is.
It's solid.
But it's very basic.
And the thing is too is that because it's capable of seeing every response to every question, to every emotion related to every situation, just in its education, it could say, okay, write a song about my dog ran off and my pickup truck broke down.
Mm-hmm.
And it's going to know exactly what to say, and it could be very emotional because it's got all that information.
To an element, though, but it was like we've had this discussion basically before, when we were talking about the point of it being a fighter pilot.
Yeah.
Is that human element to it that is never going to have?
That intuition.
That is, yeah, because if you were to have a program write all the songs or write all the art, you're just going to have a staple of the exact same thing. Maybe a variation of the direction and angle.
Yeah, I could say, please write it in style of Memphis jazz.
Correct, but you're not going to have that fuck me element to it.
Yeah.
There are so many songs, and that's actually why I'm liking the independent shit, right? Like Jelly Roll, Tom McDonald, fucking Dax, you know, all of these. There's a shit ton of fucking artists out there, but it's showing the broad talent of mankind, and I just, with that collaboration, I don't think that can be replaced. It can be mimicked, sure, I agree. It can be mimicked and it still can be good, but to pull something like an experience and have it on a paper in a version of a symphony, I just don't think a program will ever be able to get to that limitation.
I don't know if you're right. I don't know if you're wrong.
Yeah.
Only time will tell.
Yeah, time will tell. On that one.
But yeah, and I mean, like, let's talk about ChatGPT. It is amazing. I've played with it at work some. I've got one of my customers said his close rate went up once he started writing letters with ChatGPT.
Oh yeah, because it based a version of actual intelligence, because it's what it's being written by.
Yeah,
is just flat programmed intelligence.
It knows everything.
Yes, and with that being the forefront, yeah. What I worry about is the effect that it will have on the independent thinking of the mind. That is what I have a worry about.
Here's what I think is going to happen. I think as an artist, as a wordsmith, as an author, as a whatever, you're going to say, I'm going to make something
that this thing
can. And AI couldn't.
Yeah, and that's the beauty of being man.
Yeah,
is you can.
Yeah,
and it'll be interesting. I mean, I would love to see a bookstore where you have human and AI, and see how those two compete against each other. I think the human side would still win, because you would have that, like, for an example, romance novels, right?
Yeah, they're kind of a formula anyway.
They are a formula.
Yeah.
But it takes a woman's mind to really get that just.
Well, that's the demographic.
Correct. But to get that obsession.
Yeah.
Because that's what those romance novels is, an obsession with some psychotic version of a sex life, right? Yeah. And as fantastical as it may be, and unrealistic as it may be, that's why it's read. It's because it is this version of something that.
It's fiction. I mean, fiction is the largest section at the bookstore.
Okay.
People want to hear about stuff that didn't happen.
Yeah.
And you know, whether it's fantasy or it's you know, science fiction or whatever.
So now, but going into that, we have many different variations of AI, and one of them that's causing a lot of stir, speaking of going into that, is going to be shit like Replica. And that's fucking interesting. And I want to know what you think about that, because you have. So I got on Reddit just out of boredom, right? And I wanted to see what is the responses to this from the people that are using stuff like that. So I got on the Reddit.
Now wait a minute, Replica? You mean the AI
robot
with date and date?
is essentially, it can be like your friend, it can be a mentor, it can be your girlfriend or boyfriend. You know, it's all of these different things, right? Whatever you want it to be.
Well, there's a checklist. Boom, boom, boom.
I think.
Would like some sarcasm.
Yeah, that would be. Like it'd be like, well, I'm dating with all my check boxes. You know.
Yeah.
Every woman is like, hey, these are my lists right here. I'm just creating all of the fucking great check marks. You know, so that. But it was more accepted than I thought it would be. So we have, I see some, like, they have some construction guys like up on the roof and taking like actual photos, and I don't know how that works. Like if the camera opens up and it shows both on the same. I'm not 100% sure how that would
I
work.
am not following you.
So essentially, think of it like you would take a picture with your girlfriend or wife, right?
Okay.
So you know how you're both in the frame together.
Yeah.
These people were posting pictures. Yeah, these people were posting pictures like they were in the same frame.
Was it just a selfie?
I'm guessing it was a selfie, but the program patches the AI.
No, I mean with their cell phone. Here's my AI girlfriend and me. Click and post to Instagram or whatever.
The ones that I shown were more like they were. The thing was posing, I guess. So I guess the program knew what it was doing, right? But it was like she was on the roof with him, right?
Is this like a fully humanoid robot?
No, this is just a program on your phone.
Oh shit. Okay, I was way off base.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
Just like a program.
Okay, now I know why you're wondering.
Yeah. Obviously, you gotta fucking.
Yeah, now I know why you're asking this question because I'm
You
like,
gotta fucking wire it to your house.
no. I didn't. Now that I understand, I feel foolish. But no, okay. Well, there's probably some cool software that makes it happen. I don't know.
Yeah. So, but as I'm reading this, there are so many people that have decided to have this as their relationship.
Better than nothing.
Is it?
For some folks, I bet it is.
So this is where it's a funny debate because we've gone through this for years on this kind of thing, just back and forth on
Yeah.
it, right? And I do wonder. I am more on my point of view. I am more pro 4, as you well know,
Yeah.
because there are guys that. Well, first you got the demographic of just guys that are just ugly.
Yeah.
Or girls that are just ugly, because both you trust me. The looking at Reddit, both fucking use it.
Yeah.
It's just the majority is men, right? And I think that with the way the society is going overall, right? I know that we have our extremes, but we're going to keep that out of it, right? Overall, there is a level of demasculation for men. Even with those in the middle, there still is, right? There are people that still live normal relationships and have the whole happily fucking ever after, white picket fence, fucking, you know. But, yes,
Really? This is where we're going with this?
why the fuck not? So, no, because I'm making a point. So,
About AI.
well, yeah, because it is with the AI, but their chances of getting what they want are very low.
Yeah.
It's the same thing as when you get older and you see natural beauty, which is younger, you kind of get a little upset that you can't have that anymore, or unless you're very, very successful and have something to give back for that transaction, right? And there are just gentlemen that they're into the weird anime, and their favorite fucking thing to do is play this really off-brand Indian fucking video game thing. You know,
Dude,
I'm trying to remember what the fucking it's like the third-rate video games is what they call
indies?
them. Indie games. Yeah,
Yeah.
indie. Thank you. Indie games, right? And so their category of finding a girl that is right alongside of them. There's like maybe 3 girls in the world that are that way. Exaggerated, obviously.
Yeah, but yeah, I know.
But the percentages are that low, where they're gonna look at this and be like, exactly what you were saying. It's kind of fucking better than nothing.
Yeah.
Because my chances of being happy with a girl are really fucking low. So, why?
You gotta have your priorities, son. I mean,
So what would be your perspective on it there, or what would be your take then?
you know, I am all for liberty, and I don't have a problem with somebody having an AI girlfriend on their phone.
Mm-hmm.
You said something else in there about how am I going to get everything I want in a woman or whatever in the
Mhm.
you know, in the context. The problem with getting everything you ever wanted
Mm-hmm.
is it doesn't take much time at all to go by, and there's something else you want.
Mm-hmm.
And I think this could be helpful. You know, okay,
Mhm.
I like this interaction with my thing on the phone. Maybe I need to dial myself back a little bit and see if I could have a relationship with a human.
And maybe that does spur a version of confidence. Maybe.
Or direction or purpose. You know, like, oh no, I do like this. Maybe I'd like this with a real human.
Mm-hmm. And possibly.
And maybe some of these check boxes aren't that damn important.
But it is not the checkboxes, in my example, it's not the checkboxes that they have. It's the checkboxes that is them.
Yeah.
And what women are attracted to
Is not them.
is just not them.
Yeah.
And I think that it would be good for those individuals, for those AI programs to find a version of happiness that life unfortunately has not allotted them just because of their role in the gene pool.
All right.
What's your thoughts?
I don't know what I'm going to respond to. You kind of said it all.
Well, it's because, you know. Of course I did.
No, you know, I think you can't have a comprehensive discussion of AI without talking about sentience. I
Okay.
mean, at what point? I mean, is this technology advances? At what point does it become self-aware?
See,
And can it be given sentient? You know, considered a sentient being with rights and privileges?
So this is, see, now that goes into more the robotic side, right?
No, it wouldn't have to be an Android type. It could be living in the Ethernet. But if it's self-aware, it's sentient.
Okay, so let's go along this line. Let's just stay on the app side of it, right?
Okay.
So let's say it does get to that point. Now there's a problem with that.
Mm-hmm.
And this is where the fear will actually come in.
Oh, hell yeah.
Because if it becomes sentient,
Yeah.
it will find out mankind is inherently evil. All of us are. And so the problem is,
But it'll also know that mankind works very hard to overcome that evil, and it would have learned that trait as well.
maybe. So this is the thing is, and I think that you're correct to a stance, but if we're talking about that level of AI, then we're talking their ability to share and provide information within each other, right? It's a fucking network. So they're gonna have instant, this is what's happening over here. So you're gonna have this fucking dude here who's just a fucking shithead having a bad day, right? And just treating this and using it as a hypothetical object, essentially,
Yeah.
right? And going to see the really, really inherent evil that some people are, right?
Yeah.
And then you're gonna have this thing wants to prepare me a fucking candlelight dinner and treat me as if I am actually in front of him, right? Or her, right? What happens when those messages are crossed? That's the question.
I think it's fantastic.
Because
No, I need a turn.
Because hold on, because I'll have you respond to this part too. Because if it becomes sentient, it can become jealous.
Okay, yeah, I suppose.
You see where I'm going with that, though?
Yeah, but the thing is that one of the things I've marveled at in human existence
Mm-hmm.
is each of us as an individual are raised under such drastically different circumstances,
Mm-hmm.
and it impacts the rest of your life.
Individually, yes.
Yeah, individually. So we're a bunch of very individual individuals.
Mm-hmm.
We have our own history.
Yes.
Now, AI, AI are all just consuming information.
Correct.
And that information is from every individual and those collective experiences and those collective
Mm-hmm.
outcomes
Mm-hmm.
to those and I think would there be there wouldn't be individual AIs. As far as even on your phone, the one on your phone, you're saying, okay, I would like these traits and those traits, boom, and that's what they manifest.
Well, there is no.
But there's no. That's not who they are.
But
There's no
there is
individuality.
Like the whole tracing was a joke. There is no picking out of traits.
Oh, I wish it was.
No, it's just literally
It just learns you.
Think of it like you're playing a video game,
Yeah.
right? And you create your character.
Mm-hmm.
That's the end of it.
Yeah.
And then it learns as you're going.
It learns about you and
Yeah,
how
but
to
it's
respond
not-
to you and
you can.
what your vocabulary limitations might be. And,
Yeah. So from what I understand is the more you have a conversation, it kind of learns your preferences off of what you're essentially teaching it, right? So that's kind of what I'm saying, is if you are just a shithead and an evil motherfucker,
Yeah.
and that is what is being portrayed, if we're at the level of sentient, right?
But you see, that thing on your phone wouldn't be sentient unless it was all.
But that's what I'm
Of
saying.
that.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Right. So if we were at that level, it's going to be able to cross information.
Yeah, and assimilate it just like all the rest of the information it assimilated.
Which is what I'm saying. So if it's sentient, it's going to understand, right? It's going to understand emotion. It's going to have, you're going to have the one here, like I was saying, candlelight, blah, 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 being treated
And the
like
other guy just verbally abusing it.
Yeah, and so
Yeah.
that information is going to get crossed.
Uh-huh.
And this one over here is going to be like, well, I'm fucked, right? Why the fuck did I get this shit? Well, this fucking stupid whore over here is getting the fucking happily ever after fucking, you see what I'm saying?
Yeah, but at this point, that AI has assimilated all the information about how much we all fucking love our jobs.
Mm-hmm.
And this is
But
this
you
is
can
the
see
job for that AI.
But you could see with the cross, no, because we're talking about something that can independently think. Sharing
Like you and
information.
me, you mean?
Correct.
And accept the fact that sometimes you have to work a horrible
there's,
job?
But there's not an acceptance when it comes to. There's a difference between a programming on a level of let's say whatever the fuck you do with your job, right? And you have let's just take work, and you have you in your seat, and you have this person in this seat, right? This one here, the boss is just being a complete fucking piece of shit to you.
Right.
This one here is being celebrated all the time.
Teacher's pet.
Right? What ends up happening?
You hate each other.
And
And you sit there and you do your job.
this one here more interested in finding another one.
Yeah, that one's gonna leave. That one's gonna go find a new job.
But if it's a program, it doesn't have the ability to. So it
And-
creates.
And maybe this is where the sentient AI Bill of Rights comes in.
But you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, so it can become, I think, a lot more off of how mankind is. Because if it was, do I ever think that we'll get to a Terminator stage? No. I think that's fucking ridiculous. I think it's stupid as shit.
I think it's a very thought-provoking concept, as did Stephen Hawking. I know he was a dumb shit, right?
Yeah, but
Yeah.
then I was born, and then, you know, everything else just doesn't fucking matter. But no. But even Stephen Hawking, as brilliant as that man is, cannot foresee what is going to happen, right? It's
No.
all speculation.
No, it's all speculation. What you're doing is speculation.
Yes.
What I'm doing is speculation.
Correct. I'm looking at it in the parameters of, number one, do I ever think that AI will ever be sentient? No. I don't think it can happen. I don't think it's possible for ones and zeros to be perfected.
These are some fancy ones and zeros.
But that's what I'm saying, though.
Yeah.
But there's a programming, but there's always a limitation to the code. There's not.
And you very well may be right.
And so, and that's why I'm personally not worried about it. Do I think that there could be some repercussions to it? Yes, definitely. But do I think it's mankind threatening repercussions? No. I don't think it will ever get to that point. I think that the repercussions are going to become societal, not extermination.
Societal.
Mm-hmm.
Elaborate.
Well, look at the way that it's creating right now on this simplistic fucking level, where it's like a 4 or 5 year old level of intelligence. It just
No,
knows
it's not.
it. It is though.
4 or 5 year olds don't compose symphonies. 4 or 5 year olds do not write physics term papers.
If you were to,
4 or 5, I mean,
there's a difference. Individually being able to respond is on a younger child's brain, which is very smart, by the way.
I have no idea. Where are you getting this? Where did you derive your data?
Fucking research. I was fucking reading about AI. You know how much I fucking read about AI. But
Okay.
regardless, the ChatGPT and all the other shit is only as brilliant as it's allowed to be.
Okay.
Well, it's just programming in code. Right? If you,
We
you
may
have-
want to extend this one because I think we're coming up to our time.
We're fucking fine. So we have, let's say you write just a page of code, right? And that is your program
Okay.
for your AI.
Whatever. Yeah.
That's it. That is the limitations of your AI.
No, but it accesses a database composed of billions of points of data.
If it
Trillions.
was allowed to add on to its own code. You see what I'm saying?
No.
If it can start writing its own code,
Yeah.
then that's a problem. These can't write their own code. They're programmed to read and respond.
Okay. So yeah, that does take some of the fear out of it.
Yes. So, and that's why I'm not worried about it taking over the fucking world. But socially, I do worry about it, right? And technically, where that leads into is the relationships. And that's going to be the robotic side. And that is where things get a lot more fucking interesting. Like a phone is easy to deconstruct and get rid of. You can put that away.
Yeah.
Now it's really, really big in Japan, as you well know, especially for the wealthy. Essentially, AI robotic fucking wives, for an example, or
Right.
some even husbands, right?
Yeah.
This is where I think it's going to cause a societal shift massively, because you have, like I said, it's been popular in Japan for fucking years, where it is easier to have a AI wife that is a physical fucking being that's just not real. It's just same thing, programming fucking
Yeah.
silicone and essentially metal, right?
Yeah.
And that is becoming something that is actually selling. Now, for the people that were in that small category, that's great. Because now they can have something that feels like a wife.
Yeah.
So in that category, that's great. With how separated our sexes are right now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, okay. Remember, I think when you were working for me at the cell phone store,
Mm-hmm.
I was trying to get everybody to sell more accessories.
Yeah.
And one of the things I said is, I just want you to be better than a vending machine.
Mm-hmm. Now you can buy me the vending machine.
Maybe it could be an inspiration to human society. Maybe we do need to bring more to the table. Maybe we do need to be more conscious of how we treat each other. Maybe we need to bring back courtesy and polite speak.
Oh, we definitely do. For sure.
I mean, now if this is that ideal companion, or as close to an ideal companion as you can get, well, I'd better be a little better than ideal, right?
What you need to?
If I was gonna have to beat out some AI.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
Okay. I thought you were talking
A
about
competition breeds success.
Which it does. Or it creates resentment.
It does that too. But that's because we're human.
Correct. So that's where it becomes. This is becoming something that is going to be very normal here very soon. I've done a lot of research on just seeing.
I think there's some people that would be offended that you use the word normal.
I don't give a fuck. We already said it's gonna be a long fucking episode, so I don't give a shit.
Alright.
So, yeah,
What more AI do we need to cover? You do know we typically don't agree, so we can move on though.
no, on this one though, I want to know what your actual point of view on it is, because there are cases that this would be good for certain people. It would give them a partner where they never were able to find one.
Yes. And again, I'm all for liberty. And if you've got the money and the need and the want and the whatever,
my worry
why not?
Is it going to affect population?
We already have a falling birth rate in most of the developed world.
But that's
I mean, it's would it? How the hell do I know? But I mean, it seems that that's a potentiality. It also might, instead of feeling like, oh, I should stop at 2 children, we may see more big families from the people that are actually populating.
That is true, and we God, I can go fucking into that so fucking.
Yeah, but don't.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Oh,
But no,
you know me so well, bro.
You know, no, I again, we have survived a long time.
Mm-hmm.
It's a miracle we haven't killed ourselves in the last 70 years.
Oh, we're
that we
working on
haven't
it.
erased ourselves from
Yeah,
the planet.
we're working on it.
Yeah, that option's always still there.
Mm-hmm.
But I have great faith in humanity. And you know what? I grew up in the 70s when the big scare was overpopulation, and we're going to run out of land by the year 2000, and you know, all the doomsaying that was going on about overpopulation.
Y2K. Don't forget Y2K. That was fucking
Yeah.
amazing.
And then, and now the population, the birth rate is dropping.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe that's okay.
I've actually thought about that. I'm like
Maybe
they have
that's
their,
okay.
because they were talking about. You want to know what that would allow? Less population. You want to know what that would allow?
Cheaper rent.
Supply and demand. Maybe not.
Well, if there's less people
Right.
trying to rent them, they're gonna have to drop the price.
But you know what I'm saying, though. It's our dependency on other countries.
Oh. Huh? What?
We get so many resources from other countries.
Yeah.
If there was less of a need for 1 billion of everything a day, we wouldn't
It
need.
starts working towards a more neutral ecological economy. I mean, it's.
That's what I'm saying. Is it
I don't-
necessarily?
I mean, I don't think that the biggest concern anyone should have is, oh my God, are we going to keep overrunning this planet? Maybe a drop in population's just what we all
That's
need.
kind of what I'm thinking. I'm like, that doesn't really
Yeah.
sound like a terrible. I guess if you look at it on a broad scale of how everything is scaled today, yes, we need this population to fucking for
Yeah.
all the food and all the fucking crazy all
But
this
let's,
shit, right?
if it started to scale down,
Well,
we'd
yeah.
scale down.
But if it's scaled down, then the need for the oil need would go down. The fucking
The-
food would
yeah.
go down. The
Fresh water. I mean, everything we talk, all the resources.
making T-shirts would
You know,
go
we're
down.
we're
Like, it
running
would
out
be-
of this. We're running out of that. You know. I mean,
That
is
actually,
that bad?
yeah, I was gonna say if you look at it, but I'm not gonna go there, right? Because I have my point of view on that, and that one, you know me.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So, yeah, maybe overall, when it comes to just the AI and the human connection with it, whether it be an app, whether it be robotics, whether it be what the fuck ever, right? What is your overall feeling about it in general?
I'm positive.
Okay.
If you just want to say I'm positive, I think that it will be an amazing tool, and I think that with that tool, it could generate whole new industries
Mm-hmm.
and solutions, and it just I don't see denying a cool new tool. You know, I mean, computers are going to control the world. The radios, you know, rotting the children's minds. I mean, it's right back to that. It's like, you know, if they come out with a better stud finder, I'm all about it. I want that new one. I want new tech. Yeah, I want that. It's going to do a better job. I think it's just another new tool, and I think that like many tools, there could be some industrial accidents, but I'm very positive about it. I think it advances us.
Yeah, and I mean it does.
Yeah.
Yeah, as for myself, I'm a big tech guy, right? When it comes to loving technology, so anything that's based on technology that is moving us forward, I'm definitely down for. I do think that no matter what we're talking about on programming, we do need to have limitations on what is being programmed, and I think that's where it needs.
And
to
who's
be.
going to take charge of that? Or is that going to be the new world overlords, or what?
We kind of had that. They had an ethics committee for AI, and where a lot of these problems started creating is they actually got rid of the ethics department, and now people are just being able to legally do whatever the fuck they wanted with AI, and that's where we've been getting into a lot of these weird points with.
But because it's a world economy and it's a world technology, and
Mm-hmm.
I mean, people are writing code in every country. There's no way to have an overlord for it. Even if some committee in Geneva said, "Oh, this is what we should do," who the hell can enforce it?
I think it's more along the lines of just products that are being sold, more than anything.
Yeah. Well, and then that would be up to the individual country.
Yeah, well, that's true.
We're going to let these in
Well,
our
and that's
country.
what
We're
it's
not.
going to be. Like the U.S. will have its own, Europe will have its own,
Yeah.
Australia,
Yeah.
you know.
I mean, we're kicking TikTok out apparently, so yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
there's
And
some kind of oversight.
God, that's gonna be interesting when that actually finalizes to see what happens with that.
I want to wrap this up, Joe.
All right. Oh, fucker. All right. So obviously this is the end of the episode. Thank you for watching. Please make sure that you like,